Hello, welcome, thanks for joining here. I am going to be posting this draft I have. I'm going to be uploading it. I've actually been on a tear recently. I've won my last 2 Arena Cube drafts. I have been playing drafts since it came out. It's just very fun. It's a very exciting way to both combine the creativity of Limited along with the competitiveness of Constructed. So I thought I would just walk you through my my thought process, and hopefully this is a good draft. Hopefully this will be able to show you some really cool, insightful stuff. And so here with the first pick, not the greatest. I have seen many better ones. So Dauntless Bodyguard is a nice 1-drop. This almost always wheels around. Wheel just means that I can expect it to return. Lightning Strike is a fantastic card, as is Fabled Passage. This is a very tough one. I do see the opportunity to go for some controlling cards. Lightning Strike is immediately just what is calling me. Passion Light is strong. Might just stick with the Lightning Strike here. A lot of strong cards here too. This is a pretty powerful card. My Infiltration. Nice angel stuff. Gates. Yeah, so I first picked the Lightning Strike, but it's not necessarily the best card. Like Vivian is a planeswalker that gives a lot of utility. Curious Obsession is a very strong card. Hypnotic Sprite is pretty nice. Kind of want to go with this, but I go for a more aggressive deck here. Let's see what we get. A lot of good cards here. Spectral Sailor is nice, very strong flying card that can come in and deal some damage. Fire Prophecy is fantastic creature removal. Might go with the Sailor. I think I'm going to go with the Fire Prophecy. Hopefully the Sailor wheels back, if not there's a Bonfire. One of the hardest parts when drafting is figuring out your color scheme without trying to force certain color patterns. So this is a fantastic card. Love Death Horde Invasion. It's a great way to keep up board presence, especially if you're running sacrifice cards like Woe Strider. Very good. Seems to be a lot of black and white support here. I'm going with the Rimrock Knight. I think I've kind of settled on a red aggressive deck, more aggressive build. We'll see what happens. Mainly because I think Curious Obsession is a very underrated card. So in a blue-red aggro deck, it could be extremely powerful. I'm not sure. Might come to regret this. We'll see. Sphinx of Foresight is much more of like a control card, but I think I'm going to take it here. I just like to have the option. I might just end up settling into a more control-oriented build. These are both fantastic. Now, amazing card. It's a lot of good white cards here. Also should have gone white. No. So, one of the hardest decisions is when you see an opportunity like this, is picking a card that you think will not make it back to you. Like, I think Brineborn Cutthroat could make it back, even though it's a fantastic card in this build. I think I have to go with Essence Scatter. It's very unlikely Essence Scatter makes it back. So, Changeful Stroke is good. I like Rowdy Crew. Going to take Rowdy Crew. The opportunity for a potential 5/5 trample is very nice, very strong. Scorched Spitter, nice low drop. In this case here, I'll pick this. Hilarious, Enraptured. I sometimes will play this when I do fun, limited decks with my friends. Not the best card in a cube, because there are many good options. In limited, this would be fantastic. In cube, well, maybe. So what I'm looking for here, the ideal pickups would be something like I think it's called like Enticing Melody. That's a fantastic card. Obviously, like Embercleave, Robber of the Rich, you know, cards along that line. Opt is a fantastic card here. Let's see how the pack is moving along. Yeah, it tends to decide pretty quickly. And if we look at our distribution so far, it's actually not so bad. Now, this is a tough one. Fight Fire with Fire is a great card. Some late game potential. I'm gonna go into Gate though. Kind of like to have this combination of 2 mana counter spells. Early game is a fantastic way. You know, Essence Scatter stops their early drops. Negate is better more in the mid to late game. If you go against an opponent that's about to stabilize or poke for game, it's a good way to stop. Some legendary sorceries, stop Teferi, stop Liliana, that kind of stuff. Stop a Shatter. Negate can be pretty strong. And some good games with that card. And so far it looks like we have a lot of removal. We have very powerful instants here. The problem though is that our best creatures are 4-drops, which usually you want them to be on the lower end here. I'll go for this, just because I have a lot of instants and sorceries so far. But this is usually more of a sideboard card. Killing Fiend. Really depends on my distribution. It could be nice to get this down turn 2, and then maybe like turn 3, I end up, you know, I could play a Shock or Lightning Strike. Will do a lot of damage unexpectedly. But I don't think I'll be playing it. If we look here, a ton of good 2-drops. Look at this card. So far, nothing useful. I like Risk Factor. It's a great card, especially in this type of deck, where it's going to get to the point where, like, in the mid to late game, I'm going to be most likely playing with an empty hand. And my opponent will be low on life, so they're in a lose-lose position where they get closer to losing, or they end up giving me some nice cards, some nice fuel. Cauldron Familiar made it around. Surprised no one is going for a sacrifice deck. I see Oven I might reconsider. Wow, there are some very good white cards. This is probably what I should have gone for here. It's a bad read on my part. Yeah, especially Shatter, Archeon's Sungrace, very strong cards. It's between these two, really. I think I'll go with Captivating Crew, because I think the other card will rotate around back to me. It's a tough one. Creatures I control are flying at 1/1. I don't really have too many flyers. Now this is a great card. Great way to push my opponent down into the mid to late game. Now here's a hard one. This card, incredible. This card's also very strong for what I like. Scorching Dragonfire, fantastic, one of the best 2-drops. But I already am awash with 2-drops at the Rampaging Pharasodon. This usually is a game changer. Once you drop this card, your opponent does not want to play creatures or will at least be discouraged from it. Menace is very powerful, means that often turns 4 and 5 will mean your opponent loses life. It's all around a very strong card. Stops them from gaining life, means that they can't stabilize as easily. Now here's a hard one. I'm going to pick Robber of the Rich, because this is one of the best cards in the format. But Thassa's Intervention is a strong consideration. The ability to counter or basically put 2 cards in your hand. It's very powerful. So hopefully it makes it back around. Probably won't. Otherwise, I'm not sure what I will take off the wheel here. But Robber of the Rich, MVP level card. Absolutely fantastic. There's not much else to say about it. This is a tough one. Stormfleet's not bad. It's another flying card that could be very useful. Captain Lannery is a very strong card. Might just end up picking him. In this type of format, where your aggro is going to be a little bit less consistent, sometimes it's nice to have it. Now, normally, if I don't know if you've ever seen any of my other videos or any of my streams. I normally insta-lock Fires of Invention. Very useful card, especially when you're playing more than one color. But need some dual lands here. And at this point, when I have quite a few playables, dual land is basically what gets the trains running on time, what allows me to play on curve. So I kind of need to get that. Oof, oh boy. This is a tough one. Chandra, very strong. Allows me to recycle spells. But Torben is how you finish games. Yeah. So here, I think I go with the Torben. Even though Chandra's really nice, I'm not really going for a Planewalker type deck. So I'll stick with Torben. Do I have any enchantments? I'll take Thirst for Meaning, but probably not going to use it. This is a tough one. Chandra would have been very nice to recycle some of my instants and sorceries. The problem is, though, or not so much a problem, it's just that Torben is really what allows you to finish the games. Okay, so see, Cloudkin Seer, rotate wheeled back to me. Great way to get a card that I knew other people would not prioritize, but is very useful in my build. Might not even play the card. Might be a decision between these two cards here. Now I'll take Thirst for Meaning out. Thirst for Meaning could be useful if I end up with any cards that work with my graveyard. Let's say cards that encourage me to discard sorceries or instants. That might be strong. This is actually a pretty good card here. So is this. Going to stick with the 1-drop. 1-drops are very good in blue-red decks. Fantastic, this made it back. Flying cards are very good. They work wonders with Curious Obsession.
I have designed this speaker to amplify my thoughts so people will quit asking me for sandwiches. That should work, right? I don't know what you're talking about, Space Ghost. Go ahead, my show is...
So actually, I might just keep Sphinx of Foresight here. This might be a good way to just fly over my opponent and go for game. But I don't think I need that. Let's see how many instants and sorceries. I have 6 instants so far. Not bad. If I'm running a 40-card deck, that means I got something like a 6th to a 7th, more like a 7th of my deck is made out of instants. So in every starting game I should have 1. But that's still, I don't think that justifies playing this card. So let's see what the third pack has. Fantastic. This card made it back. I'm going to put this here in a separate section. It's a very nice card. In fact, early game, it sometimes can be a free counter. If you pay, or not a free counter, but like a 3 cost catch-all counter spell. This is a tough one. I do not really have any artifacts, so this card I'm going to use. I'll take this, but most likely not playing it. Fantastic card. Oh, I have Cat Oven. Not going to use it, but... this is the tough part, right? I think I take the Temple here, just to get the dual land. Ionize is very nice. Counter deals damage. Again, some very nice white cards. Draw and then discard. I think I take the Temple here. I already know what color combo I'm going for. Obviously. This is an MVP level card. This is also a fantastic card. Also a very good card, so I'll be okay with any of those wheeling back to me. But so some problems here that I can already see coming up is that I have some cards here that have 2 blue costs. I have like 3 cards that have 2 blue costs, and I have 2 cards that have 2 or even more red costs. When it gets to late game, that might be a problem. Now this is hard. I think I go for the Ox here. The Ox is a great way to refill my hand. This is also a great card. Triumph is amazing. That'll give me my third dual land. Castle's fantastic. I don't know which one might make it back around. I go for this land here. I go for the Ox. Give me a way to place my curve. 2.4. I think the Ox is the way to go. Let's hope one of those lands make it back. Blue-red dual land would be quite nice. I think I take Mutiny here. Oracle is fantastic. Actually, yeah, Oracle's pretty good. Mutiny is too, but I already have a lot of decent one-drops. It's a good card. Instants or sorceries. Graveyard. It's another one that could be useful. I'll take this. It is another instance. Let's take the Evolving Wilds just for some mana fixing. Annex, great card. Tokens. Let's go. Aw, man, I would love the Lava Coil. That's dual land. 3 dual lands. Yeah. I think I could take the Evolving Wilds out. These lands are already quite fast. Fibblethib, not bad. Might just take Fibblethib for the draw. Castle Vantress is not bad at all, though. Scrying for late game. I already have a lot of 2-drops, so I think I could just take the castle. So, this card is starting to look better as time goes on. Oh, oof, fantastic. Silent Departure, very nice. Just a quick bounce that has recyclability. This, though, does a lot of hate, a lot of creature hate. Silent Departure does have reusability. I think I take this here. I can go for game with this, or I can destroy a Planeswalker. Very good. Very good. Do I want the counterspell? I think I take the counterspell here. That's an Oracle came back. Mutiny's pretty good. Act of Treason. Be good ways to steal the game from opponents. I already have Transcendentality now. I'm gonna take Act of, just because I already have so much destruction here. I'm most likely not playing that card. I don't know. It's hard to see how much value I get out of that. It's one of those things where you look at it and it's like, oh, I have 13 spells and sorceries. Now, thank you for joining me. Let's see. I hope you enjoyed this draft and listening to me ramble about which are the best, what picks I thought were good. But here what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best and cut down the cards in my deck too. So this is a very important segment here. Making sure that I pick the best cards for given opportunity. Castle Embereth would have been nicer here. But, well, one of the things I have to look at, and I have to ask myself, what is the goal of this deck? And I look here, I see a very low mana curve, I see plenty of instants and sorceries and some creatures, very few enchantments, and I think to myself, well, this is looking like an aggressive deck. So the cards I should keep, the cards I keep in here should be the ones that satisfy that goal. The ones that help me defeat my opponent as quickly as possible. Heartfire can be a very strong way to pay for game. So, I do not have enough. I'm going to take this out. I do not have enough enchantments. It's not worth it, I think. Because if I use this turn 3, that means I've taken my foot off the gas, and I don't want to be doing that. It's the same problem I have with these counter spells here. Definitely going to take out Sinister Sabotage. Just Surveil, and using a Surveil here. A little too slow. I might keep the Ionize in, but Ionize is one of those that's on the block, the cutting block as well. So let's look at my 1-drops. I have quite a few here. I like this card. I like both of my 1-drops. It's a question of which one would I rather keep. This, the ability to counter target spell that targets a creature, is extremely good. It can be used to like stop a planeswalker. It can be used to stop a bolt, active treason, any of that stuff. So it's very good. But this card also has the ability to become much stronger as the game goes on. I might just keep both of them. This is one that I don't know if I need. The haste is nice, but these two are the questions here. Do I want Scorched Spitter and Fanatical Firebrand? I think I like this one more because of the ping. I don't know if I like Scorched Spitter as much. But this could be a pretty powerful card when combined with counter spells. I'll keep that in mind, and I'll keep... Okay. So some cards I don't think I'm going to keep this. It's Defender. I want to be playing aggressive. This is one that could be very useful given my deck. Imagine if every turn he's a, let's say like past turn 3, he's a 4/2. That deals a lot of damage as I'm also blowing up my opponent's board. This I definitely keep. This might. Rimrock Knight's fantastic. It counts as an instant and a 3/1 body. Robert the Rich, one of the best cards. Excellent Scout. Blitz of the Thunder Rep. This is one that I'm not so sure if I need, but easily just after I use like 1 or 2 instants from the 2-drops here, this becomes much stronger. I might just take it out. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor. Let's see. Let's see what I can get rid of here. Hardfire is another one that could this could be often how you win games. If your opponent is going to blow up one of your creatures, or if you get into combat with someone, they have a combat trick, just sacrifice the card. It also works well with active treason, but I do not know if I will keep it. I'm looking at this deck, and it might be better to just sacrifice some of the blue cards. I like Sphinx of Foresight a lot, but do I need it? Might be too slow. Maybe take out the Captivating Crew. Definitely want the Ox, definitely want Torben. Risk Factor is one of those that I like, but I might not need it since I have other ways of drawing. Let me take it out for now. I don't need this, to be honest. I don't have that much flying support. I already have quite some solid 3-drops. Now, this is the hard part. I'm not so sure if I should take out Sphinx of Foresight. And even this negate, I'm not so sure if I really need to. I have plenty of ways, I'm looking at this here, plenty of ways of dealing damage to planeswalkers and destroying them quickly. I think I take this out though. Let's see how many creatures do I have. Still have to take out 3 cards. I think I can actually get rid of a mana here. Let me look at my mana costs. Yeah, most of my cards are red, so I think I could just take out a blue. Might even take out the Castle Vantress. Would hate if it came in tapped when I needed it. But let's see. Technically, I have 6. Yeah, I think I take this out. Yeah, I take out a basic one. You know what? I could try this. If I play a game and it doesn't work out, then I will not go with it. The Illyrios is one that I'm not so sure if I need. Even though having the extra bodies is nice, because it's technically like playing 2 creatures for 1. If I combine the power, it's not how it works because they're separate, but I want to be really greedy here. I can say that this is like a 5/5 3-drop. It's not, but you can think of it that way. The downside, though, is that it does not work as well with Torben, does not work as well with Annex, right? So might be the case that I could take it out just for the sake of consistency. But then my 1-drops would be blue quite often. I think I'd take out the Scorch Spitter here. Scorch Spitter can be quite devastating as an early drop, but I already have some good solid 1-drops. Doesn't have haste, so it doesn't start pumping the gas right away. Active Treason, I think, is what I take out here. I have a much better version of Active Treason. Okay. And now let's look back and make sure. I think this is the right call, but let's just check again that I have not jumped the gun. Okay, so with an average cost of 2.3, I maybe could even get away with 15 lands. The only reason I'm not is because I have a somewhat close split here. If I look at my 105% here, some of these cards, more than half are red, but I have quite a few blue, so I can't sacrifice too much. Vast's Intervention is one that I might consider taking out, but as a catch-all counter spell, I like it. I like the fact that I have 4 counters. Negate is one that I might take out, but it sometimes can be so massive to really slow your opponent down. When they get a Planeswalker, they go for like a big enchantment spell. You could just spend 2 mana to take care of it. It can be absolutely massive. And against more control-oriented decks, it could be what saves me. Alright, so let's look here. This is one that, again, I'm not so sure if I should keep. The question, right, is Illyrios really the best card? Would I benefit more from Sphinx of Foresight? That scry ability can be quite useful. This could be a finisher in many ways. I think here I take out... Yeah. I think this is the right call here. Okay, then my cost should be a little bit high, 2.3. Alright, I think I keep this here. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will update you later, and especially if I win here, if this is another victory for me, I think it might be like my 6th or something like that. If I go 7-1, 7-2, I will definitely upload it, and I will let you know. I will explain, any additions I make, any cards that I cut from it, and also give you some tips on how you can perform even better in your own cube draft. Okay? Talk to you soon. Bye.